we're going to keep working on this, and I have the new art scanned, and I'm going to drag it over, and we're going to put it right on top of this, and we're going to start sketching over it. So yeah, that's kind of the plan today. So again, real quick, I laid this out, printed it, right, used the light box, went back over it with pencil, you know, to get, you know, all the little lettering details and stuff I wanted. And then this is the vector process. So we're gonna go through and use the pen tool, and we've got a nice long date with the pen tool this evening, and see how far we can get. And then if we do get far, I wanna do this other variation because it could be a good standalone one. So we're gonna try using this one. Again, this was just, you know, this paper is overlaid on top of my computer printout. So I have a base to work off of. Show the printout, and you can go with that. Notice I printed it in gray, right? So I can see, it's a little bit easier to see my line work on top of it, right, in the light box. And for guys like me, it works really well because my my hand lettering skills are pretty terrible. So am I related to Aaron Eckhart? Aaron Eckhart? No. Who is that? Oh wait, is it no. No, if I am, I'm not aware of it. So let me get the chat back up so I can see what you guys are doing. Oh, Swifty. Swifty's another artist to be following on here. If you've seen Swifty's work, he does some awesome vector work as well. And I don't know what this is for, but yeah. I didn't get a good look at it before I dragged it on screen, but yeah, it's okay. Very nice. And it looks like, ooh, Elizabeth's got some very cool use ZenBrush on iPad Pro. Man, that is nice, Elizabeth. Very cool. See, I can't do this stuff. I've tried and it just makes me angry. That's why I gotta sit to like cartoon doodles and stuff. Cool. All right, let me check. Days, what are you sending me? Recent work. Okay, I'll bring this link up later, Days, Lewis, and we'll look at your stuff because you got a lot of cool stuff going on. All right, so we're gonna have some fun with the pen tool. So I'm gonna go ahead and open my sketch here, if I can remember where I saved it. That's always a good thing. You know, you should always keep organized files. I have and try to, but I can't say I stick to it all the time. Okay, so this is the paper scan, right? So did this on just a flatbed scanner. I just use an old Epson scanner that I've had probably for at least a decade at this point. It's covered in stickers and stuff, and it keeps, you know, it keeps motoring. It's kind of like an Energizer battery, it just keeps going. So I'm gonna copy this and I'm going to paste it right in here, and we're just gonna work within here because my line work isn't the greatest, and I just wanna, you know, I want to make sure that I still have this base behind it just in case I need to look at it again and reference where exactly I was putting things. Chances are I won't need it again. We will be reusing the logo down here again though, because that'll be on the final piece when it's done. And once it's all, if you guys have seen the last few streams, once it's all vector and smooth and done, it always looks so sharp once it's, you know, once it's all vectorized and whatnot. So for that, we're using Illustrator. If you guys have never jumped into Illustrator, if you're fresh to Adobe stuff and never played with Illustrator, you got to jump into it and try it out. It's what, if you're interested in print work or you know, logo types or branding or anything like that, everything is done in Illustrator, iconography, anything that can be scalable, that you want to be scalable, and then just straight up illustrations too. If you're like I was and hesitant to jump into it from Photoshop, because the first time I loaded it up, and I know other people on here have had similar stories where it was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what's happening. You know, I see layers, but they're not like the same layers and stuff like that. You kind of gotta, you know, poke around with stuff, play around with it. It'll start to make sense, and then I know you'll have that light bulb moment, and you'll understand how it all clicks together, how Photoshop and Illustrator all work together. So it's one of those programs that you know, unless you work with pixel-based stuff all the time, you'll find that Illustrator and Photoshop go hand in hand. I mean, there's really there's uses for both of them, you know, in the same files and whatnot, quite often. So yeah, Mech, it changed my life. It did, yes. Yeah, it does take a while to kind of, you know, dive into it at first, but it is pretty cool. Hey Evan, jacked my audio settings, didn't hear, but okay. Alrighty, shirts. Yep, I want to see. Oh, it's for DJ Slipmats. Okay, so who is that? The company Scratch Poop? Okay, the floaters make sense because the mat floats on the player, but yeah, it's. I gotta say, I love the pattern. The pattern's cool. I am quite a bit of a pattern addict too, so so I'm gonna go ahead and take this, and we're gonna knock the transparency down just so I can place it and see where everything lines up. When I printed it, the document I printed from, or the artboard, was larger than the sheet of paper, so I had to scale it down, and chalk that one up to yeah, I should have paid attention to that. But when you're doing stuff like this, it's good to print at 100%. If you build at 100%, print it at 100%. And that way it's easier to do like this part if you need to line it back up. So I'm looking, you know, I'm looking through the pencil artwork now at the base shapes we got here, and I see some stuff that I probably want to clean up a little bit. The bottom of these letters, you know, I'm still on the fence about having this area knocked out, kind of thing, where it's I knock hard drives on the floor. When we get down here to this point, you know, it might make sense if it's still knocked out or not. The one big thing is I wanted to make sure Rage looked energetic and it looked angry. So trying to do a thing where it's kind of you know, it's held together by fire, and the top is flames, but the bottom is more kind of electrical, right? Because when I think of Rage, and I've had plenty of it with electronics and Call of Duty, things get thrown and broken, and it's not a pretty sight. So I want, you know, you got to express that it's anger in its essence. If that even makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm gonna leave this like this, and I'm just gonna lock this whole layer, and we're gonna create a new layer above it and work from there. And play with the pen tool. Now the pen tool, I know I've gone over this before. I feel like maybe we should kind of go over it again. I'm going to start with the Rage text first, just because it's the one I was sketching on the most, and I feel like more comfortable with it at this point. And then once we get those letters done, we'll go up and work on the Basically I. And now that I'm looking at it, we might modify it a little bit more and just kind of, you know, just kind of tweak it a little bit. The one cool thing between Illustrator and pencil, though, is that a lot of these lines are all blurry, just because you can only get so sharp with a mechanical pencil, and depending on where you are in the line of lead coming out the end of it, you know, sometimes it's softer, and sometimes it's you know, it's a little bit darker and more crisp, and then it breaks. So your pencil weight, you know, changes drastically, which is something that we can definitely go in and fix in Illustrator. So if you've never drawn flames or anything like that, this is actually a really good opportunity to get good with the pen tool. There's nothing like trying to vector flames and stuff that has a lot of swirls and curves and shapes with the pen tool, to really kind of break it in and get used to it fast. You know, when you first go with the pen tool, you kind of, you know, you might end up making, like I started making like clouds and stuff, trying to figure it out, or just making polygon shapes or whatnot. But I've found that trying to do any line work like this will definitely force you to figure out, yeah, Bezier curves and handles and all that stuff pretty quick. And the shortcuts on your keyboard that come in handy, like the Alt key, will come in very, very handy. So I'm just going to zoom in and start going to town. If you guys have any questions, feel free to stop me. I like to answer questions. and you know, that whole thing. So the other big thing I like to do is I like to draw in outlines. I like to have the outline of the shape going. I know some people like to start with the full shape and make their lines or the shape a little bit transparent, which is another cool process. The other big thing that took me a while to get used to was less is more when it comes to points. And this is something that I'm still learning too. Like, you see how this curve came down? So let me start this over. Let's just go over the pen tool real quick, just in case. And I got, you know what, we might take a little break in between and go over the blend tool again, because I got asked over the week. I put up a quick image of playing with some blends, and I got a lot of questions regarding it, so maybe we'll go over that real quick as well. And so you guys can see how that works and how you can apply it to things like logos and whatnot. It might be good after we get one of the letters built, we can use the rage wording behind it to with that example. All right, so your pen tool, when you put down a point and just click and drag, or not drag, but click and click off, you'll see that you get the you know, you're starting to look at the path of where the next point will land. And you notice if you just click once, it's just a straight path, right? It's not, you're not going to get a turn, you're going to get a polygon type shape, right? You're just going to get a straight edge. So when you click and hold, that's when you get a Bezier curve. That's when these handles pop out, right? So I'm holding on the left mouse button, and you know, I'm not letting off. And every time I turn this thing around, it's going to set the direction of the Bezier curve, and that's where these handles come from. This is the magic of the pen tool, that it does this. If it didn't, we would probably never ever use it. So the pen tool, this is where, like, you know, the power of the pen tool is in its curves. Once you let off, you notice I let off, it went ahead and it outlined that stroke there. You'll notice that the next curve already has a bend to it, right? It's already slightly curved because it's coming off the previous curve, right? So remember that when you use a Bezier curve and you have handles, your handles tell you where the next one's going to go. Notice that, you know, these handles are pointing this way, and look at this curve, that it's starting to go that direction, right? And depending on where I lay this next point, that's where the curve is going to be. Now, if I click and hold again, you know, I get the handles back on the next one, right? And so we can start doing like waves and S shapes and flames eventually, what we're going to get into. Okay, if I go back and say hold Alt and click on this point, I can manipulate the handles. Now I have broken the handles in two, and I can dictate where this next point is going to go, right? So say I want it to go that way, right? So now you'll see the next curve is, that curve is going to start that direction I just put the handle. Now if I just click off, right, just click once and don't hold down the mouse button, you know, we're back to just straight lines, right? Do straight lines. And then you click to you know, to I can't think, to close the shape there. All right, so the other big thing though is we showed you how to split the handles. You can start out with curves, so if you just hold the mouse button and click, right, you can start out with curves, and that's one of the ways that you simplify lines, right? Notice I got this S shape with just, you know, let me take this one, let me start over. Let's say I go this way, right? Notice I can get this wave shape with just 2 points, right? Instead of going like this, right? Because look how like chunky that looks compared to this one. This is just 2 points, it's super smooth, and this one has like 4 or 5, and it's not as smooth, right? So you can start out a path by holding the handles as well, by dragging out a handle. The thing to remember here though is that when you connect points, if I close this, I think it's going to jump out on me. If I close this, okay, it didn't. So let me start this over. One thing I gotta watch out for is if I do curves, right? And say you wanted this to stop at a point, right? All right, it's not doing it. Of course you're gonna act up on me. So All right, I did something that doesn't usually do this. What did I do, guys? Okay, that's the thing. So if I need to do, that's what I'm doing wrong. So say you've got this flame thing, right? And say I want to grab here, right? I want to close this, but I still want this end to be sharp. Like you'll run into this a lot where I want to drag this curve around further, right? See what happens. So it makes an ellipse shape. That's not what I wanted, all right? If you hold Alt when connecting, that will allow you to, when you close a shape, you know, we're doing the same thing again, we're breaking those handles, and then you get like, you know, if you're going for like the teardrop shapes or like what we're gonna do here with the end of the flames, you know, once you close it, sometimes just remember to hold Alt. And is that what it is on Mac? Is Alt as well? I forget what it is. Snap to, premium to what? Multiplies two things to make repeating patterns. Is that, okay, you might be thinking of blend. We might have to just run blend real quick too before we get into this. So that's essentially the pen tool, and there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with the pen tool, right? So you can get like waves and whatnot and say, you know, see, I want to break this, and it looks like a really mashed up moon or like an angry Pac-Man. But yeah, so that's how the pen tool works. And once you start like getting really used to it, see how I'm dragging out this first handle because I'm going to try and pull it into this S shape down here. Now, the other cool thing about the pen tool is that you can always go back and edit down your path, right? So here's a point where we're at the end again. I need this end to go a different direction, right? I need it to come back this way. So I'm going to hold Alt and drag my new point, right? And you kind of just get used, you kind of get used to a feel for it, like how far you should drag these handles, and just to, you know, just where they should go. So we're just gonna kind of slowly go around there, and I can already tell this one's gonna be a problem. This handle is moving a lot further away than I'm gonna want it, and it's gonna overshoot. It might overshoot this by just a hair, or no, we got it. All right, we got that one. So we're gonna go around this and see where we end up. So another thing I want to do is try to make like shadow out of it, because when this is printed, it's not going to be, I didn't envision it being a dark print on a light background. I figured it would be like, you know, a red or a white or something like that on a like a darker or a saturated t-shirt or something. So this will look a little bit different, hopefully a little bit better when it's a lighter color. So yeah, so flame. So I think does anybody remember there was like a pen test or something that was online. Somebody showed it to me a while back. Maybe it was Travis, where you could do like, how good is your Bezier curves, and there was a website where it had a built-in tool like this, built-in pen tool, and you could see how nice your curves were. So when I hold Alt, you know, I'm doing this quite often where I'll hold Alt when I get to a point because I want it to go a different direction, like that, right? And so this curve, I don't mind that it's still chugging along, okay? So, but if I go here, notice that curve is happening again, so I gotta hold Alt on the point that I just put down, and you start getting the direction of the next curve, and I don't like that. Also, quick change in subject, but if you guys noticed, I pasted the link to my Pretzel What's Playing page. So if you guys hear a song on the stream that you like, that's where you can find it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just do the R shape for for now. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the bottom here. But I need to come back and notice how this point here kind of got a little bit sharp. So I need to fix that. So as I'm going, I'm seeing points that I need to come back to and work on that just didn't hit the mark where I'm hoping they would go. So down here, let's start here. And this is another situation where I'm holding Alt and we're gonna get some curves. I don't know if I like this little lip here that I penciled in. See this little break here? I'm gonna go around that for now. I don't think I like it. And boy, zoomed in, you can see, you can really get a sense for how fuzzy that pencil line, the pencil artwork is. Oh, I think music might be coming through twice. So get these little electrical looking edges out of the way. And see this, I probably want to bring this over a bit. Being able to see the base shape underneath, you know, it helps me with like widths and stuff, because I feel like this whole area might make the leg of the R look too thin. Let me do this one again. And Control Z, if you put a path down in it or a point down and it's just not working, Control Z is your friend. Just Control Z and quickly undo it, and you can jump right back to where you left off and put the next path down, and good as new. So I don't know if I like that. Let's Control Z there. I feel like I could probably get all this in one turn. That might be smooth enough. No. Sometimes you can just tell that, you know, the line is not going precisely where you want it. Maybe I should bring this up higher. And I got birds running into my window. Maybe like that. All right. Hey, what's up, Swamp Meat? Everybody say hi, Swamp Meat. It's not a stream if we don't have Swamp Meat. So I'm hitting Control Z some more because this one's giving me problems. I also notice when I'm drawing these flame shapes, like I'm better at drawing them one direction than I am the other direction. It's very strange. Like when I notice most of them are going to the right because that's just more comfortable. That's something else I need to practice on. But when I draw to the left, when the end of the flame goes to the left, it kind of throws me off. Okay, so I'm at a part here where I think if I just click it, I'm gonna have to hold Alt because I need to get a little more bend out of it. All right, so now since we have the path down, here's where we can start fine-tuning stuff. So this looks really janky right here, right? This curve is coming in too far. So once you select a point, you can just grab the handle with the direct select tool, and I think that's the letter A on your keyboard. So direct select tool is the arrow icon that's filled in, right? The empty arrow is the selection tool, and the direct select is the one that looks filled in. Now you use the direct select tool to manipulate points when you need to look at specific points and move those around, or handles or whatnot. You can't do that with the selection tool, which is V on your keyboard. This will just select the whole shape. Okay, so when you want to click on points and move them around and try to refine them and edit them, use the direct select tool, and that is the letter A on your keyboard. I'm starting to finally get used to these shortcuts. It's only taken me like 20 years. I was trying to, which piece was it? When the one we did last week. I was going to finish it up. I was trying to finish it up for the thumbnail for the following day for when this goes up onto YouTube, and I was just forcing myself to use the those shortcuts, which was V for direct, or A, V, what was the other one? AV, yeah, V is selection tool, A is direct select. And I was using another tool. What was it? It was, or another shortcut. Was it the lasso? Was that X? Q? Nah, I wasn't using Q. I forget what it was. I already forgot. So now I'm just going to kind of move around this letter and let's kind of refine some stuff. And we got another decision to make here soon where I don't know if I want some of these edges broke out a little bit. Like what I mean by that is, see how, what's a good spot? Okay, so look at the B, right? What I'm going to try to do here is the flame from the R is kind of baking into the bottom of the B, right? So specifically, I've left like some empty space around it. And once this is reversed out to where this is a brighter color and the background is dark, this will almost be like a shadow, right? So you'll see what looks like a flame, you know, a flicker of the flame in front of it, and then this break in the B will give it a little bit of depth, like it's a little bit of a shadow. I also did it here on the S, and this one I gotta fix. This is really bad. But like how the A breaks into the C, you know, there's a little bit of a notch taken out. Now it looks kind of odd now because it's basically inverted. So once the background is dark, that's gonna come through as kind of like a shadow. So a lot of these little spots that I've kind of broken out, like the top of the A and the base here, they will almost appear, they'll almost give it a little bit of depth, even though there's nothing really, you know, it's all just two color. But there was a couple other places where I was wondering if I should do that, like maybe, you know, break down here, or, you know, maybe the R breaks into the leg or something. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Okay, but let's go ahead and get this part drawn in, and then we'll use the shape tool. Okay, and break this up more. But here's another point where you can do this curve in just 2 points, right? Here's that S shape we did earlier. And how less is more, I can drag out a handle and we'll get kind of close. But see how that S shape starts coming to life there? And that's just 2 points. So this is gonna look a lot smoother than trying to do like a point here and a point here and a point there. You know, just trying to do a few points, and this one kind of curves back up. So if I drag this handle this way, I can come here and pull up, right? We get that S shape there. So manipulating how that first handle starts, and I think we're just in trouble with the rest of this. I can't see it right now. But this will help you start to get into that mode of trying to make smoother shapes as you go. We might be able to close it with, yeah, okay, so we managed to do this with just, I wonder if we could do it with less points, but we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Okay, so that shape was 5 points. I feel like I'm trying to score something. But then we can start to refine these handles and get that shape we're really going for, right? And that's what's cool about Illustrator and the pen tool, is that you can come back and really refine it down. Okay. So now if I zoom out, let's go ahead and we'll fill these two, right? So we'll just fill them with ink. Now if I press Shift and the letter M, I bring up the Shape Builder tool. And you'll notice that as I hover over these things, they're separate, you know, they're each an object, but I'm gonna build a shape. So if I hold Alt and click on the, I forget, is this called the bowl? The bowl of the R, or it's called the, or the counter. Each piece of a letter has a name, and I get this one mixed up. I think it's the counter. This empty space in the R. Any of you type people remember, typography people, remember if this is a bowl or a counter. But regardless, if I hold Alt and then click on it, it will get rid of, it'll remove that shape. So now this is just one shape, right? We've got our R shape started. So I'm gonna go back to outlines as I work on the next pieces, and then we'll see how it looks when we get it all together. Counter, Jonathan, thank you, Jonathan. You gotta, John. You gotta show us your brewery project again. Oh, Anya posted the link. Is this it? Bezier.method. Yeah. Okay. So if you want some Bezier practice, here's a great link. It's bezier.method.ac. If you want to try out just, you know, it's like the curve test or whatever. If you want to try that out, and then, oh, see, this is why you should be following Swifty's work. Watch this. Man, Swifty. Okay, this is awesome. I love this guy up here in the upper right. Probably because it looks like a big old fat Sharpie marker you drew it with. Swifty does some awesome work. Is this Falcor? What's up, Shauna? This must be for is this for a YouTuber? What is this for? Where'd it go? Oh, Twitch panels. Yeah, who's it for, Swifty? Is this for yourself? Let me start retweeting some of this stuff. I always forget to do that. Get you guys out there, show your stuff off. Blake, I gotta show off the dog. E-shirts is always at work here in Vector Land. All right, we'll retweet all that stuff. Yeah, so Anya had that's the Bezier test. So let me know how you score on it. I haven't done it in a while. I don't remember what I got. I don't remember if they gave you a score or what. I forget how the whole thing works, but Tiger Rider. Some was animated. Did you animate it? That's pretty cool. Yeah, Swifty Spade, he's in the chat. Right on. Okay. And Shauna, I still can't get over the ice cream signage. Every time I think about it, I get hungry. Okay, so Anya's saying they do. They will tell you. Oh, they rate you against how others did as well. Nice. I better not do that on stream then. So we'll keep going here in a sec, but let me show off what Lou's been working on. This is pretty cool. These little like minimal, right? So it's like minimal design on how to build these little characters. I love Stitch. There's Groot. Very cool. You always have this low poly stuff, which is also pretty awesome. Oh yeah, I remember this. This was from a stream we did in the past. The gaming emblems. I love how this came out. That polygon style. Very nice, dude. Got some good work. I would wear this on a shirt. We gotta heart this guy. Why am I not following already? Heart. Now I can heart it. Very cool. Is this Link? Oh, it's an Overwatch. Oh, see, I'm not very familiar with Overwatch. I watch my sons play it, and it confuses me. What's up, Rocket? Yeah, it has been a while. Yep. Did you see? I spotted a Groot too. Did you guys see the second Guardians movie? I'm not gonna do any spoilers, but I don't think this is technically a spoiler. But the end credits are pretty funny with how they some designer just had a blast with them, and it's really cool. And Groot pops up in a lot of cool places, and I think we, my kids and I spent most of the time just sitting there trying to figure out where Groot was. Kind of like, where's Waldo? All right, so we're working on this A, and the whole goal is to, you know, the least amount of points possible, the smoother. I can't. My English is terrible today. The less points, the better. And see, this one's gonna give me problems. I'm gonna have to come back and refine this, because no matter where I put these handles down, I'm either gonna overshoot it or undershoot it. Another thing you can do is hold shift. You know, if I hold shift while dragging out a handle, it'll stick me to a 90 or a 45 angle. I'll use that quite often, but I can tell that this is gonna overshoot me here. So I'm gonna have to come back and refine this part. So here we go. As we go, and remember, Alt is your friend. I'm really trying to get these S shapes so it's just the smoothest I can hopefully get these lines. And even though, see how this curve is kind of off, we're gonna go back and fix that later. So for now, we're just trying to get as close as possible, and you can come back and fix it. All right, this one has a sharp end though, so I'm gonna have to come back this way. I can hear the guinea pig. He's trashing his house. He's probably dumping out all his hay behind my bookcases. He's good at that bugger. All right, so yeah, it's a combination of holding Alt, and I'm holding Shift to move the canvas. Shift is the other shortcut to do this move thing. I probably should have mentioned that before. You're probably like, how's it moving around like that? Yeah, so holding a Shift there brings up is that I forget what the hand tool is actually called. Place? No, it's called the hand tool. But this allows you to grab and move your artboard around. So we're gonna start on, looks like we're gonna run this. Are you trashing your house back there? Doing laps. Pretty sure he's the world's oldest guinea pig and he's still just going to town. All right, so I'm gonna finish the rest of that separately, the G, because I'm anxious to get the A done. So we're gonna bypass that and just skip ahead. Holy cow, can you guys hear him? He is back there just rampaging through his cage. Alright, how do I want to do this part? I feel like if we do with the R, I don't want that break there. I may change my mind later. Again, beauty of the pen tool, I can come back and put that notch back in it if I need to. Just move around this A. Alright, then I can come back to this point and we're going to kind of close this up. So another thing you can do is Control Y to view outlines, and this shows you the outline of all your shapes. Notice, because the image doesn't have any outlines in it, that it pretty much disappears. So something I'm going to do to connect this R up is that you can look for like a flat spot or an edge. You can drag a handle to match that, right? So there's a flat spot here. If I just kind of put this next handle down and drag, right, I can kind of match that enough to where it should look like it's been all together. And I can actually overlap this too. Overlapping is fine because I can merge those shapes together after we refine our path. All right, so again, holding Alt, and let me get this R, or what are we on, the A, done, and then I'll jump back to chat and make sure I'm not missing nothing. And this handle I'm going to drag out pretty far, I think. There we go. Has anyone had any problems? But problem, you sketch something and then you go ahead and vector it, but it just looks weird all of a sudden. Had anyone ever had the problem, you sketch something and then you go ahead and vector it, but it just looks weird all of a sudden? That's my life, dude. That's kind of the whole time I'm trying to vector something, it's trying to make it unweird. Sometimes, you know, lines just won't go where you want them. And for me, I have a lot of, like, well, you saw how many times I sketched this pencil drawing just to try to get where I want it, and I'm still not happy with it, to be honest. I'm sure there's still going to be parts where, you know, I wish I could draw these flames just overall a bit better. But it's just, you know, it's going to come with practice. At least that's what I keep telling myself. All this stuff is just lots of practice. To be honest, I'm lucky I made it this far. All right, so we closed that shape up. There was some spots we need to refine. So this handle is really weird. I can grab this handle and I'm gonna drag it back in. We're gonna fix that one. There was another one down here. It seems like the bottom of these kind of little eyelet things is giving us problems. Don't have to worry about that. Down there is fine. I'm still up in the air. I don't know if I want the R and the A to connect that high up. So we're gonna fix this. I think we're gonna fix this up. All right. So the R here. Let's take this leg and I'm gonna drag it back this way. And let's see. I'm gonna get rid of this point. I'm gonna click on it and I'm gonna delete it and just get rid of it. All right. So now let's start this leg of the R. I gotta hold Alt to start this pointer. It's gonna start manipulating the other handle. And let's just kind of, that's too far. I feel like this break in here might actually be a good thing. And it might not, but we will find out. And then let's connect these up. Uh-oh. It's kind of hard to see. Lost my tools here. Sometimes they come unstuck. All right, so we have the two shapes there, the A, and the leg of the R. All right, let's do this. I want to say this is also called the counter, but I can't remember if it's a polygon shape, if it is the counter or not. I think it's the counter of the A that we're gonna knock out. This one goes this way. This is gonna be tough. It's gonna move across the screen, so I'm gonna try to move it slow so I don't get too lost. All right, now let's manipulate these handles. Sometimes handles can get tricky if you start to overlap them. I'm grabbing the wrong one, so you just gotta kind of go slow. All right, we got that. That looks in there. All right, let me double check the chat. Oh, what's up, Scott? You're not too late. We're still just vectoring stuff, trying to make it cool. Let's see. Let me double check the old chat. Oh, Rocky, you got to take off. I'm sorry, bud. Yes, it was good to see you. I'm glad you dropped in. Feel free to drop in anytime. But I realize some of you, or at least actually a lot of you, are in time zones that are well in the future of where I'm at. So I understand if you got to bail. It looks like you guys are talking about Cheers. Oh, Indulgent Human, I love the end credits. Yeah, the Guardians 2 movie with the end credits was awesome. Yeah, Kratos says he was confused by Overwatch as well. How do you expand? Oh, here was a question. How do you expand your second link like that? Miss Luby. Oh, second handle. How do you expand it? Which part were you talking about? You mean when you break it? Because if you drag out a handle and say I put another point down, if I put a point down and hold Alt, then I can target where that next handle is going to go, and it breaks the handles essentially. So now it's just one handle. That, right? Other situation you get into is if you start with a curve, okay, and then we come with a curve, and say I want to break this handle. If I click on it and just hold Alt, I can drag out the next handle. So it's a combination of holding Alt and then like here too. Say I wanted to bring this back in and make it a shape kind of like that. When you put a point down and when you hold Alt and then you haven't let up on the mouse, you're still, you still got your mouse button down. That's where that handle breaks, and you can start dragging out the new handle. So hopefully that's the question you were asking. I stay late at work to watch this on Tuesday. You watch this from work? Afraid to drive home and miss something. I forget where you work, Jonathan. I forget if you got a long commute up there or not. I suspect you do. There's always traffic where you're at. 2 a.m. Sweden time. Yeah, it's late. I'm super appreciative that you stopped by, for sure. All right, Lewis, got to go run an errand. Don't have much. Yeah, we'll try not to have too much fun. Thanks for showing us your Instagram stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to take both of these. Oh, we have to knock this part out first. All right, so we're going to use the regular select tool. We're going to select the counter of the A and the outside of the A. I got to look this up. Is it the counter? Is that piece of the A also called a counter? I think it is, but I want to make sure I'm not totally screwing this up. Oh, Shauna. Shauna, this looks great. Her hand lettering is so awesome. If you haven't checked her out yet, check out Shauna Lynn. She has a Photoshop pencil pack up on her Creative Market account. That's really good. How she does all this stuff, she does it all in Photoshop, and you can. I think it's like $5 or something, right, Shauna? Your pencil pack. If you want to pick it up, it's a lot of the pencils she uses in here. And does this type of work, and she streams on the Adobe channel. I think she's on tomorrow. Are you on tomorrow, Shauna? I'll have to look at the schedule towards the afternoon, and it's a stream you guys need to catch. She does some awesome work. She does stuff like this. I want to see, you had that cabin one. I want to see how that turned out. But Shauna does some cool stuff. Craig, I'm gonna send you some. I'm gonna email you some coffee. Oh, and then yeah, here's Jonathan's a project that he's been working on, where it's this for a brewery, the packaging and labeling for a brewery. And if you notice something, I have to say, John, it turned out awesome. He used a couple of my illustrations in a way that they just look so much like just cool. Man, you made them. You made like these kind of half decent illustrations look awesome. So this was something that John was working on, and let me retweet that. Was this for the? This was like was this the like the promotional shot, or you had a different photo too that I saw? That might have been like the final project's date too, but this is pretty cool. He made all this stuff. Like this was all, he made it all. And I doubt you didn't like blow the glass for the shot glasses, right? But all the labels, all the packaging. He built this box, did all the printing and cut it apart and made the 6-pack box and all that stuff, all the labels. He did everything. So that turned out pretty cool, dude. Really cool work. Yeah, I have to look at it all the time. I love it. Then we got some more from Swifty. Swifty, you have been going to town. Now, you got to tell us what this murder meat thing is. I've seen you use it before. Is this the name of a personal project or what? It's got that very... who's that? There's an artist that does, like... I don't want to say similar vibe. Is it Pardee? Alex Pardee has that very like a little bit of horror, very kind of spooky. But this looks awesome. Like the animals with no eyes, and they're kind of held together by stuff. Very cool. I would love to see you do something like that with the Pontiac Strange mascot. That would be cool. Brand I'm working on. That's awesome, Swifty. I dig it. I really dig it. All right, so we have, did we knock this out already? Okay, so we have the counter of the A, and we're gonna select the outside of the A as well. And if we hold shift and the letter M, we bring up the shape builder tool. And you'll see it highlighted over here on the left. It's right below the, looks like the transform tool and this grid tool that I've never used and I always turn on by accident. But that is the shape builder tool. And the shape builder tool is kind of like a, how would you describe it? It's kind of like a hybrid of the Pathfinder tool. It's for making shapes really quick, or taking your shapes and manipulating like where they overlap and whatnot. And you'll notice when you have it on, you'll start seeing this this halftone pattern on the hover of your shape. So if I hold Alt and click on this middle shape, I'll have gotten rid of it. So now if I turn this whole outline into a fill, you'll notice it got rid of that shape. And I can do that to this, and we'll see how Rage is starting to look. I think it's starting to look pretty cool. It's looking cool. I'm noticing I might want to simplify the bottoms a little more. Like when I look at this one, it was a lot, the bottoms of them were a lot simpler. And I think I like that. So I might go back and we're gonna fill in some of those places. Guys, notice like the bottom of the R and the A. I don't know, this just looked cleaner. Now that I look at it, this might be a little bit too complex. Like I like the tops of it. I'm thinking the bottom needs to be simplified a little bit. Okay, shot from my phone. This was oh nice. Okay, the spring show, the ice cream butcher shop. I went with the butcher shop. Tweeted you that. I remember that. It's coming back. My poor brain. Those little brain cells in the back that are holding that information are slowly bubbling to the surface. They don't usually do that. You know, it just happens. So let's go through. And did I simplify down? Yeah, I like it being a little bit simpler. I think that's key. So a way we can easily do this is press the letter A and use the direct select tool, and we can just pick a point and actually click delete on our keyboard and take that off the shape here. Okay, so now I can use my pen tool, which is just the letter P, and I can add back, you know, say we do something like this. And I'm going to take out some of those notches there, and we're just going to kind of simplify this down a little bit. So again, the letter A, to pull up direct select, make sure you just click on the one point you want to get rid of. And I'm going to get rid of this point too, and we're going to reconnect. Hold Alt because there's a slight handle happening on the oh, you see that? Let me do that again. Actually, I can go like this. I'm going to select both of those, and let's try connecting this like that. All right, so there. We're gonna go ahead and smooth out the bottom of the A. Might as well do this now so I don't have to worry about it later. And we will connect these two, give it a slight bend. This point then, press Control Y and see my outlines. I think I'm gonna have to just kind of, gonna have to get rid of a chunk of this one as well. Okay, I still need that curve. So I can like essentially pick a point and just kind of redraw, and we can use Shape Builder to put all this stuff back together. Let's see, and that was the wrong one to hook it to. I hooked it to the R, so my A. So I got a lot of stuff going on here. Let's see. No, I did that wrong too. So where's the R? So this is the R. See, I'm getting mixed up on my paths. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect these two so I know where I'm at. And this needs to be a full shape. I kind of come here that. Okay, so I should be able to select these two, right? Shift M to bring up Shape Builder. Now if I hold Shift, I can connect those. I can connect these pieces back up. All right, so then the R is actually kind of jetting out into here. Then if I reverse these, I should see what's happening here. Do I want to leave this one? I don't think I do. Now that I look at it, I think I want to move it here. I'm just looking off the paper I had, because I had kind of like I took a notch out of it like that on that end. All right, I kind of like that. The other thing I'm noticing I did differently is this went the other direction. I think also works better. All right. So another thing I can do is I can manipulate this. I'm causing an overlap on purpose. Okay, so now you can tell this overlaps itself, right? So if I fill this, you can see there's an overlap here. The way to get rid of that is we're going to open Pathfinder. So if you go to Window and you go to Pathfinder, this is one way to get rid of it. We're going to unite these. So if I unite this, which is that first top left icon, and Pathfinder is kind of like, it's like the Pathfinder came before Shape Builder, and so Shape Builder is it's kind of like a streamlined version of Pathfinder, if that makes any sense. So Pathfinder, you can really start to manipulate shapes and whatnot. So if I click Unite, it just took that whole shape and it turned it into one big path, essentially. And so we get rid of that overlap. So now what I want to do is I want to actually go this direction. I'm going to drag my handle out, and I'm going to take like a notch out of here. Okay? So I just drew a shape, and I'm actually going to delete that shape from the R. So Shift M, bring up Shape Builder, hold Alt, and then just kind of drag through what you want gone. Right? So now the R has to break the other direction, which I think I want to keep it. Looking at this, I like the A. I also want to take a notch out of here. So let's start a new path going to try to follow this path here. Take a notch out of there. So I'm going to select both again, right? Shift M, hold Alt, and then just drag on the pieces you don't want. And there we go. So I think I'm liking how this is looking. I'm going to go ahead and unite this all together, and it's going to become one shape. All right. So if I hide the background, you can see this is now just one big shape, the R and the A. All right, so now let's keep going, and we're going to finish this the rage text off, and then we'll try to see at the bottom. That might also give us a good point to stop and revisit the blend tool, so I can show you guys some stuff there. All right. What's up, Third Designs? I don't know whether you have seen this program, but Metabang Paint Pro, digital line work sketching, similar to Manga Studio. I was watching the old Heisenberg stream and thought of it. Also, I remember you saying you were going to mix Game of Thrones with the Terminator. Yeah, we had talked about, I think we had talked about the, wasn't it a White Walker and the Terminator or something? Oh, I gotta go back and rewatch that. That was a while back. That was a fun stream. That was a blast. If you guys missed that, I think it's still on my YouTube channel somewhere. But Tom, or Syndicate as you know him, came out to visit one year. That was a couple years ago now. And stayed a couple days, and we had a live stream where we drew. I was drawing, illustrating monsters based off of what my kids were sketching. And Tom was in town, and so we did the same process with him. So he sketched out like a monster, and then I went back and did all the line work and the coloring and whatnot. We had a blast. It was a lot of fun. I think we went for a few hours on it, but we ended up with a design called Heisenbarrel, which was a mashup of the Predator and Heisenberg from Breaking Bad. And there was like a part of a tiki lava lamp in there too. It was interesting. I know people have been asking for a sequel. That's more. Everybody has to get their schedule kind of in the same ballpark, which doesn't seem to happen these days. All right, you know what? This is a good song. You guys need this song. Let me get the link for the what's playing. That's the other cool thing about the pen tool. You can just kind of, if you noticed, I went and took the focus completely out of Illustrator and came back to the pen tool, and it was still, you know, it's still right where I left off. Speaking of pretzel, did you guys see the extension and overlay now that we hooked up? It's in like beta testing or whatever you want to call it at the moment, but on some stream channels you can use what's called Twitch Interactives and have the pretzel player as a panel below the video player, and it shows what the stream, whoever's streaming, what they're playing, if they have pretzel, the application playing. And same with the overlay. You can see exactly what track they're playing. If you like it, you can click into it and figure out and find out, you know, where to pick it up. And you can rate it. You can tell us if you like the track and thumbs it up and all that cool stuff. It's really cool. The guys have been working hard on it for the past couple weeks. And then we got a ton of other stuff in the works. Pretzel's getting pretty cool. It's really awesome seeing it come to life. And you guys got to see, you know, here on the Adobe stream, we've created a lot of some of the pages and some of the UI work for it. And so, I mean, you're getting to see firsthand the mock-up process and the design process, and then, you know, depending on where we're at on the schedule, you know, see the designs working in a live. I can't talk today. My gosh, I apologize. I'm having a rough time talking today. So I want to simplify this down a little bit. I don't want all these crazy lines like I had before. Now I look at this other one. There we go. All right, remember where we were at up here? So I can just kind of drag a handle and eyeball it and match that curve. And there we go. See, we've matched it up where it connects with the A. Super easy. And if you're new to the stream and you don't know what the pretzel player is, it's a music player that is built specifically for streamers and content creators. All of the music that gets played in it is what do you call it? Why can't I think of the word? Because it's Tuesday. You know, you can still monetize your content, your stream. Your VODs don't get muted, or, you know, video on demand afterwards, or recordings. It's all, you know, licensed and ready to go for live streaming. So if you don't have it, go download it. If you're a live streamer, it's going to come in super handy. And then also, if you just enjoy good music, it's chock full of it. So it's a great, just turn it on while you work, get work done, and have some awesome tunes to listen to. All right, so we got the G. You know, I wonder if I want to take those other notches out. The top of the G looks kind of crazy. But we're getting there. We're getting there. I'm going to go ahead and start on the E, and then we might have to come back and fix stuff. I wonder, I don't know if it's too out of control. It might be all right. Once we get all these points in, we'll double back and see what we got. And I know I'm going to have to fix this one here. Twitch chat seems to be very sketchy today. What happened? Pretzel is actually the dwarf mixed with the Terminator, the half man. Oh, you mean what's that character's name? Why can't I think of his name? I am really having a hard time just thinking today. It's pretty terrible. Oh. It'll come to me. It'll come to you guys and you're going to tell me. So I had like a break this way. Well, before I forget, I better open the door because I think the dog's out. Make sure he can come in if he needs to. Oh, the chat itself is acting up? Yeah, Peter Dinklage is the actor. What is the character? What's his character called, though? I can't remember. I should know this. I've seen every single episode. Holy cow. Why can't I think of that? I did, Exotic. If I ever teach an English class, do not show up. It'll just make it worse. Oh man, it's been the past couple weeks. We had a swim meet this weekend. It's just a lot of our swim meets are never like in town. They're always like pretty a good drive away, and they're my kids all swim competitively. And we're in what's called long course season. So I don't know if any of you are swimmers out there, but there is long course and short course. Short course is 25 meter pools. That's how long like a lap is, and then long course is 50 yards. So during long course season, the meets get kind of long. In time, because essentially most of these pools you use the whole pool for 8 lanes, because you got to use the long ways of the pool is 50 yards. Otherwise, when you're in short course, you can usually for the Olympic pools you have at least 16 lanes, and so you can run more events. But long course you can't. Long course you're it just takes longer to run everything. So you're out in the sun for most of the day and doing that whole thing. I love watching my kids swim. Hard part though is that it's usually either long course seasons in the summer. And so it's usually like around here it gets easily 100 degrees or so, and there's a pool right there, but you can't get in it. That's probably the hardest part. It's like, oh, it's right there, can't get in. Although at another meet I saw a dude just run and jump in and quickly jump out. I don't know what he was doing, but everybody was kind of like, I don't know, maybe I just had enough of it. Yep. And then in the winter, believe it or not, in short course season when it's really cold, the pool is actually warmer than the temperature outside. So it's kind of the reverse because the pools are heated. So it's like you just stuck no matter what when you're a parent or a non-swimmer. Okay, so we got that letter done. Maybe we should talk about some blends here for a minute. Real quick, let's just go ahead and invert everything and see how we're looking. That's looking pretty cool. I kind of like it. I think I might want to go in and like maybe this little horn on the G is coming up too high right here. So we can manipulate this. It's kind of gonna get kind of weird looking for a sec, but we can essentially size it down by pulling on these handles. That looks kind of strange. I'm not liking this curve at all, but maybe I just need to get rid of it. I'm gonna take the pen tool and I'm gonna press the minus key. And that didn't work. Where is it? Minus. I pressed the wrong key. And we're gonna get rid of a couple of these points. Maybe just take that one out altogether. Might actually benefit us. We'll just leave it like that for now. That's a little better. I think that G reads a little better like that. Okay, so let's do some blend tool stuff real quick. Tyrion Lannister. That's it. Thank you, Shauna. And Sketchman. And Kratos. Tyrion Lannister. Oh man, it was there. There was a brain cell back there that had it and it just wasn't firing. Thank you guys. So I want to connect these letters here real quick while I'm looking at it. Is that my dog barking? I might have to go look at the dog real quick and make sure. Kind of like that better. And I'm gonna go ahead and unite all of this. Okay. So then, just to get a quick look, and I promise we're gonna get into blends. I'm gonna set a quick background color. I'm gonna put a new layer, and let's make a. Let's just use a square. And up top, I can punch in the width and height, and I think my artboard is 1280 by 1280. That, and I'm gonna align it to vertically align it to the center, and horizontally align it. Like this, make it red, and then let's knock this out and invert it to white, and it looks a little bit cooler. So. See these little, there's something, I don't know, it's an illusion on the eyeballs, but I've always noticed that when you use a light color on a dark background, that lighter shape, whatever it is, appears thicker. Like it's like I don't know, it's some sort of visual illusion. There might be a name for it. It feels like the letters now feel thicker than they do when they were inverted, right? Like they feel, when it's dark text on a lighter background, to me, I don't know, they feel thinner. I don't know what it is. I don't know why that happens, but I don't know. Scott, yes, it is for Marcel. So I want to go in and clean some more stuff, but before I get to that, let's look at the blend tool, all right? And let's grab, we'll lock this, Control 2, grab the Rage text back here. All right. Actually, let me make a copy. Control C, Control V, make a copy. And I have some letter effects going, or some just warp effects happening here. So I want to take that off. I'm going to go to Appearance, and I have Arc Upper is the effect. I'm going to turn that off, and we're just going to get back to our letters. Isn't that typeface is so just clean and slick. I love this font. Oh man. Okay, so I'm going to take this and unite it, and it's no longer a font, it's a shape. As you'll notice, it has an outline or whatnot. We're going to use this as a clipping mask, all right? And I'll show you kind of a trick to this. We're going to turn, we're going to make like a weird wavy blend line, and that's going to become the letters here in a sec. After a big drink of water. So when you grab your pen tool, and let's say we want to go to an outline. How about we'll choose what's some good Rage colors? I'm going to start with red, obviously. So let me go to HSB, and we're going to find a good red. And let's drag out with our pen tool just some random line shape. All right. It's not looking like much right now, right? But it's going to get there. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the stroke to 3. Okay, let's draw another line, and this is where, let's see, what's a good gradient scale for Rage? Should we do red to yellow? Should we do red to blue? What do you guys think? I think because dark colors on light backgrounds seem to fall backwards, whereas reverse makes them pop. Yep, I think you're right, Hibis. Is there a name for that? I wonder if there's a term for how that looks, because it's yeah, it's a total illusion. Nice, Kevin. I'm glad your sleep pattern is working out for me. Let's see. Okay, so yellow or orange is what Twister's saying. Eyegasm. There probably is a name. Yep. It's funny. I never really stopped to think that there probably is a name for a lot of this stuff, like the the empty shape in an R, which there is. So you never know. Red, orange, yellow, like fire. Okay, let's just do that. So I'm going to drag out another path here, and notice I'm not doing anything special. I'm just kind of dragging out a line, and this one will be. We'll turn that one to a yellow. And I like HSB for the color picker because you can easily set saturation and brightness. You don't have to fumble around with RGB or whatnot. And I'm just picking the hue top. All right, so we got a yellow. All right, so now you're gonna select both those lines, right? And you're gonna go to Object, and we're gonna blend. Well, let's go ahead and make. You can make it. You can make that blend. It's already got a preset in there that I've used in a previous document. So there's a lot of, I've got it set to steps. So if you go to Object and go to Blend, and you have Blend Options, this is where you can really set some cool stuff. Click on Preview, and instead of spacing for smooth color, let's do Specified Steps. And I must have punched in 224 at some point. Let's turn on, let's do like less than half. Let's do 120, right? And you notice that it's blending, it's making that gradient. It's blending both these lines together, which is pretty dang awesome. So I'm gonna hit OK. And now, you've got, this is what your blend tool is. Yeah, yeah, Tater. A cool thing you can do is you can start playing with the points on these lines. So if I want, you can play with the points in the handle. Say I want to grab this handle and manipulate it like this. You'll see that it's going to manipulate the blend, right? It's going to add this bend in here, which is pretty cool. You can get some real cool effects out of there. Another cool thing to do is I'm just going to add a point to this bottom one. Say, where are we at here? Where's the? Make sure I've got Smart Guides on. I don't. So Smart Guides is Control U. should be on. All right. And let's add a point on this path. Let's say right here. Let's zoom in. I'm missing the path. There. Oh, plus key. So right there. Finally. All right, we'll get it at one of these points. And then I'm gonna go to the anchor point tool and I'm gonna click it once, and that should break it and just make it straight. Right, so now you can see there's this little tiny, you know, it might bust up your eyeballs on the stream here, but there's a little tiny kind of, you know, break going through here. Well, if you grab that, when you have like a point, you know, it's got no handles essentially, you get another cool little shape where it starts out as a, what is that, an acute angle, and then it's going to blend out smooth. So that's a method to get some really cool blend shapes out here. Now if you overlap it, it's going to get more solid on you, right? But that might be something, especially for rage, if you want it to look like fire, you know, it might be a cool effect that you want to have here and there. All right. Anyway, though, we have our blend. I'm going to send this to the back. So I'm going to go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. And I'm going to say I'm done with this, right? So my text here, I think I can go ahead and just use it as a clipping mask. If your shape is, if your clipping mask is what's the term? Really complex, you need to turn it into a compound path first. But let's see if we need to do that or not. I'm going to select both of these, and I'm going to go to Object, Path, or a clipping mask, Make. And that didn't work. Okay, so this is one of those situations. I think it's because I have a lot of different shapes that aren't like joined together. So I'm gonna go and select my rage text. I'm gonna go to Object, Compound Path, Make. All right. So this is telling Illustrator that this whole thing is gonna become essentially a clipping mask. Now if I select both, Object, Clipping Mask, I'm crossing my toes. This should work. Make. All right. So now, you know, we're using the letters as a clipping mask on our blend tool here, and you can get some really cool effects. You can't see it right now, but if I put a background against it, say a darker background, Object, Arrange, Send to Back, you know, you can get some very cool stuff. The other thing you can do with blends, if I double click into this, I get back to my blend here. You can take, like, say, one of these paths, and I don't know, you can up the stroke weight on it. And this stroke weight is going to, you know, it's only applying it to one side, so it's blending it down into a thinner stroke weight. So that's another, I don't know if you want to try that, it's another thing you can play around with. So if I click out of here, you know, you can see the G and the E now are thicker, and it kind of fades off on the R, which is pretty cool. This comes in handy if you want to do, like, you know, it can also be a way to do like shading, you know. So if you think about it in reverse, let me lock that so I don't mess with it. You know, say this blend, say we just had, we set the whole thing, you know, to black, and then if I unlock the background, make this a brighter color, you know, you can do stuff like that. So then now you have this effect, which it almost looks like a gradient happening, you know, by just using two colors. So you can get some really cool effects out of here. And I'm gonna back up because I like the red and yellow look, like that. So that's the blend tool. It's actually like stupid easy. And once you get used to it, you make some really cool shapes out of it. The blend tool is also one of those tools you can use to make, like, you know, like the spirograph stuff on currency, you know, all the complex lines and whatnot. That's all blend tool for the most part. What's up, Matt? We got Matt Guyver. He's gonna come in here and save my bacon on Illustrator. But yeah, Matt, we were just going over the blend tool and the cool stuff you can get out of it as we're manipulating this rage text that we're working on. So for those of you that had those questions, I hope that answered it. Let me know. Yeah, Scott, it does look like fingerprints. let me know if you want to see, you know, if there's a question about it or whatnot. You need to see, you know, I skipped over something. Oh, Heebs, you found the chromostereopsis. Chromostereopsis. Okay, I'm gonna save that and look it up later. I wonder if that is what we were talking about. Is a visual illusion whereby the impression of depth is conveyed in two-dimensional color images, usually of red-blue or red-green colors, but can also be perceived with red-gray or blue-gray images. That sounds different, but it sounds cool. I'm gonna have to read about it. Okay, I'm gonna check that out later because I need to read about that. Let's see. Rick Black is working on some branding for a friend. That's cool. My only suggestion is maybe a little more space in between the V and the A. Well, wait, no. Now I see you got maybe tighten up the K and the I. Maybe that's what's throwing me off. This is cool. That's an interesting lockup. Let me open this up. Does that say Hovakind? This is a cool font. This looks like a font you might have. Did you start with a font, manipulate it? That looks cool, dude. I like it. Very nice, Rick. And one of these days we will get to a bacon font. One of these days. Okay, flotality with the save here on the typography. All right, so this is the counter. The empty space is the counter. Now, is the counter the same? My question is the counter the same if it's not circular? If it's like a polygon, like the inside of a capital A? I bet it is. We're gonna say it is. I think you're right. I need to retweet that so I can find it later. And what else we got? Second iteration of line work from Kratos. Don't know whether to start experimenting with colors. Sure, dude. I would jump right in. That's looking pretty cool. Did you already have some colors in mind that you were going to try out? I'm really interested to see how this turns out, like the final piece. That's looking pretty gnarly, dude. Very nice, man. All right. Let me check something real quick. Reddish brown. Yep, that'd be cool. It looks cool, Rick. I like it. Rick, Shauna said she's done bacon lettering. Shauna, you got to show us. You got to show us. Purple and blue, my favorite colors. Purple and blue ape. That'd be interesting. All right, I'm gonna lock this background layer again. Here we go. Some water. Shauna, you got to show us a preview. I want to see it. Oh, Bart, that's awesome to hear. Visual communications. I think I did some of that in school. I think. When I went to art school, they didn't. It was technologically not there yet. Bacon and eggs. Okay, I gotta see this, Shauna. There you go, Rick. There's your bacon. Man, Shauna, you do such great work. I love this stuff. Man, that looks so good. Bacon and egg. Very nice. Very cool. I'm sure Rick is let me see. I must see it. I'm waiting for Rick's response. You should try out the font DDC Hardware. I have seen that, Carlos. I've been meaning to pick it up. Real quick, Jack Osterman has Inferno. A bit basic, but the guy who asked for it was happy with it. It's a Rocket League team logo. It's not basic. This looks cool, dude. I like how it turned out. Very nice. Is this emblem in? I want to know where this emblem came from. It looks cool. Inferno. Very nice, Jack. Retweet that. Like so. Yeah. If you can't already tell, Twitter is like my site of choice with the social media things. Yep, there's Rick's response. He is happy. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna try to jump into this basically part. You know, we did something similar on the word nar that we did on the big S piece. I think I want to just pen tool this. I think so. I think that's what we want to do. So we're gonna go back to our pen tool and we're just gonna start pen tooling this. And I'm gonna have to line it back up again. I can already tell that my lines were off. Now I wanted it to be kind of like a little bit bubbly, like the anger is rising, you know, is where this is going. Now for this part here, I think I just want to keep going, and we're going to, I'm noticing I don't have color selected for the outline. We will do that notch part on its own. There we go. You know, Shauna, I meant to ask, do you work in Illustrator much on your font work? Like, if you go back and vectorize any of it. Or typography work. I can't, all the wrong words are coming out today. I apologize, people. It's just, it's not happening today. I'm realizing how that came out. It's like, no, that doesn't sound right. So, I'm going to select both of these, and remember Shape Builder, we're going to use Shift M, and I'm going to hold Alt. We're going to get rid of those middle pieces, and so this should be its own shape now. Yep, okay. So this little notch of flame here, oh, didn't hold Alt and it started to deteriorate. All right. There we go. So now I'm going to draw another shape, and that's going to be that notch that we knock out of the B. Like so. All right. So now I should be able to go to Outlines, Shift M, get rid of that, and hold Shift, and add in that piece. There we go. So that's how we get that. It might be a little too long now I'm looking at it. We want it to be a little bit shorter, I think. That. Select those two, Shift M, hold Alt, and these two we can just unite them. There we go, a little less. Now the bottom of the B doesn't look like it's totally breaking apart. Like so. I think that'll work. And there's a lot of stuff we're gonna have to fix, but we're getting there. Alright, so now this A, and I'm going to go ahead and move this back into place. What's up, Marcel? We're still working on it. It's getting closer. Oh, it was the Rocket League ball. Okay, now that's right. Well, it turned out great, dude. So we'll just go through and pen tool out this A. And this whole the way that basically is written is kind of like it. I don't know. It doubles as two things. I thought it would be kind of almost bubbly, like the anger is rising, but then also drawing it like this, it looks like it's burnt. So like it's done. There's no, you know, the rage has happened. It's over. If you're at my house, that means a controller or a printer or a scanner is broken, probably sitting out in the driveway somewhere, or a router lately. Speaking of which, routers. Still need to replace mine one of these days. I'm so out of the loop on that stuff. I was looking up like just routers to see what, you know, what the technology is these days, and I don't even know what any of it says. Used to be a time I kept up on all that stuff, and now does it make internet? I don't know. That's all I care about. Does my live stream not die halfway through? Then okay. So I know this part is just kind of tedious and it's a little bit monotonous, but it's part of the gig, right? So that's and when you're, it may not be super entertaining on the video here or the live stream, but when you're working on stuff like this, it's actually fun. Like it's a lot of fun to watch these letters come to shape and watching them get built. I'm gonna turn off Smart Guides because I'm starting to feel the my pen tool is pulling towards the S shape behind it. That. All right. Bandwidths and gigahertz, says Josh. I just need like simple check boxes like internet check. What do we look at? Twitch stream stays up. Check. What's up, Tom? I haven't seen you in forever, dude. Can kick what? How would it say? Can kick kids' laptops off router? Check. Let's see. What is Oh, I think. Let me finish this letter, and then hopefully that didn't kill anything. But I think Chrome is starting to die on me. Alright, so we'll move this guy into place. Let me make sure. Oh, page unresponsive. That's nice, Chrome. Thank you. I'll close you out. People wonder why I still use Firefox after all these years. It still likes me. Okay, so we're gonna have to do the notch where that, I think that's the A below it. The top of the A is coming into the C. We'll have to fix that when we finally place where this text is gonna go. That. Blend, yes, could also just expand the gradient. It asks how many steps, getting us, oh, okay, yep, talking about, I missed it, but it looks like Matt's got you sorted. Matt knows what he's talking about. Could you eventually, I missed what, oh. Is there any way to separate a gradient with two colors into different tones, like 10 steps, for example? Oh, yeah, you can, so I'm sure Matt's got you right here. There you go. Yep. Hopefully that answers the question you got, what Matt just posted. Look at that image and should be good. Ooh. Mario Sun, what is this? This is cool. Oh, did you use that tutorial? This is nice. I love this effect, this lighting effect. Man, that looks good, dude. Oh, that's really cool. It looks like like Iron Man's just heads-up display. Nice work, very good. Yeah, didn't that look good? Nice job, dude. So I don't know if Marcel's still in here. Hopefully he likes this. This is the final piece will be for whatever he wants to do with it. And there goes my terrible English again. It's just not happening today. Got all these twists and turns. We're gonna have to use Shape Builder in the middle here. Once we draw on the counter. All right, so let's select them both. Shift M, hold Alt and click in the middle, and this should be a full shape here. All right. Now it's gonna take my self-control to hold back and not just do one L and copy it and paste it. I want them both to be different, so I'm not gonna do that, but I am gonna kind of rush through this part a little bit. Just so we have time to play around with colors and see where we need to refine our paths a little bit more. Because usually what gets made on stream, you know, there's a lot of refinement that happens after. It's never final. Sometimes it'll just sit on a hard drive for weeks and until I'm able to come back to it and really give it another look. When you're still kind of unsure about a design or whatnot, it does help to sleep on it. You know, just close it out. Come back to it. Like I wouldn't even say like hours later. I would come back to it like the next day. Like literally just sleep on it. It does seem to help. The last the floral piece we did on the last stream. I I was looking at that, and I really just want to redo all the flowers, and so I am. I'm not gonna keep it how it turned out. There was, as I was building, you know, vectoring a lot of the flowers in there after the stream. I was finding a different way I wanted to work on it in a slightly different style. And then I realized that the color palette, a couple of the colors are just too close, and so the contrast isn't high enough. So there's a lot of stuff that I want to just go back and refine it down. So it's not going to be what, if you saw the last week's stream or the video that went up, yeah, that's not going to remain where it's at. It will be refined down further. Okay, let's get to the eye here. I wanted to also do something to kind of make the eye stand apart on its own a little bit more, but I couldn't think of anything. Like, I was thinking about kind of enclosing it into a different shape or whatnot, but I don't want it to pull focus away from rage, you know, from the word below. So I don't know. That's still kind of under debate. Okay, so now should be able to go like so. All right, let's see where we're at here. Basically, I rage. Okay, so it's looking all right. I'm starting to see a couple slight kerning issues. So let's tighten some of this up. By kerning, I mean the space in between the letters. Okay, so I want to select all of this. I'm going to group it. Control G, and then I can align it, center align it. This I don't have to group because it's one piece. So align those up. And now we can kind of play around with spacing and some detail in here. All right. And start figuring out if I want to take out like little nicks in the word. So I'm going to Control U to bring Smart Guides back up. And I don't know if we're going to kind of experiment here and see if this is something we want to do. Before I forget though, is Chrome. Okay, Chrome came back. I don't know why or how, but it did. Okay, whatever. So I'm gonna zoom way in, and when I take out some of these notches, I kind of want to line up. You know, I want to line these paths on these outlines. So I'll put that point right there. Control Y. Now I can use Shape Builder. Select them both. Shift M. Remember for Shape Builder. Hold Alt. And still, I don't know if we want to do. We definitely don't want to do very many of these, but I don't know if it helps or not. I can't decide yet. I feel like this might be a little too tall. Let's use the lasso. Kind of give that R a little more thickness. The G and the A, I don't like this bottom connector. So let's go ahead and we'll kind of smooth this out by drawing a new shape in. And again, Shift M, and now you can hold Shift, select those shapes. And now it's a little more organic. I'm getting quiet because I'm looking at it. Do I want that there? Do I want it to be... Maybe I need this arm to come up a little bit. Maybe just the top overlaps and not the bottom here. zoom out and see what that looks like. So this is where you go through and you just start the refinement. Whoa, that zoomed in way too far. So that's too far out. Let me turn on this again. This should be back ways. Yeah, I think I like that better. So I'm going to unite this to get rid of that overlap. And you can just use the direct select tool and select points and move stuff around to however you want it. I'm going to remove this extra point here to kind of smooth it out, and we're going to manipulate this handle a bit. Okay. I think I like how that's going. We have how many hours you spend on this. So we've done all that. So the pencil part, I guess, took a couple hours. Yeah, a couple hours. And this part, we've been into it about, what, we start at 4 and it's 6 now. So we've been 2 hours into this. Excuse me. So yeah. Oh yeah, so I'm using Adobe Illustrator, Titanius Maximus. That's a pretty cool name. I have to say, that's a pretty cool. That's a strong username there. I like it. I spent the last 3 days working on an album cover for a UK band, not Illustrator but Photoshop. Walking away is often the hardest thing, but so worth it. It is. Yep. So many situations where something just, like, there might be, you can tell something's up, you know, something doesn't look right, but you can't find it. Leaving the piece for a while and coming back, you know, hopefully helps you to see that. Man, when doing code, yeah, you got to do it pretty often. At least I do. But it works the same way with this stuff. All right, so I'm going to turn on my base shapes again so I can see where I had some of these other little flame thingamajiggers. How did that one has a weird curve on it. Bring this down further. Go back to outlines. That had one up here. I don't know where. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's up here. This. There we go. Do I want? Let's copy this. Don't know if I want that there or not. Come on, flip. No. There. I don't think I like that one. Let's move you over here. All right, then I had some down here. All right. Luckily we can move these handles around though and get a better turn here. Actually, maybe I should just turn this whole thing. Let's see. How do you go about coming up with new designs? Your work is very inspiring. I don't know, dude. I would say that's the hardest part. I'll be honest. It used to be easier. At least I felt like it was. It was easier to come up with things than it is now. Now it takes a lot of brain power I don't have. But there's just different things around me that inspire me. I don't know. Just I like watching, like seeing other artists and whatnot, and I might come across like landscapes of all things lately have been a big source of inspiration. Let's see. All right, well that's about all I had on the sketch. Now, do I want to, let's grab the logo. Paste it up here. No, not there. Here. Now we can hide this and figure out how the rest of this is going to go. Like that, and the quarterback is toast. That's awesome. It reminds me of the Bill Murray has a couple lines in Ghostbusters that it reminds me of. Oh, how's that line go? I know you. I know you probably know the same one I'm thinking of. I think it's when they catch that first ghost. Did I finish the big S? I did, yes. If you want to see it. Let me pull that up. Boy, that was a doozy. Big S. So that's how the big S turned out. So see how we did like the basically style here? What I was referencing was the top of the text up here of the NAR. It was very, very similar with how we did the paths. And I liked how that turned. I liked how it turned out on this one. Let's see. So yeah, man, Kratos, you've been like non-stop. Look at this, what Kratos is working on. That's pretty cool. Is this all Photoshop? Or is this is this digital? Yeah, it's digital, right? Very cool, dude. Man, that's like some freaky stuff. But it looks great. Oh man. It's kind of like that, but it's oh, I got it stuck in my head. I think it's when they go to the courthouse. Man, yeah, I'm worthless. I'm completely worthless. All right, let's take a chunk out of this S, or yeah, let's not put a notch in the S. I hesitated because I'm thinking I want to keep thinking I should keep the basically and the flames separate. So this little lick of fire coming up. Maybe let's do a little. Notch out of this guy. Open that up. Let's see, maybe we do it with the A as well. It kind of, now that I look at it, it does look more like the basically text looks burned up by rage, which I think actually helps us. It looks cool. Okay, so now let's see what this looks like inverted. It's getting there. It's getting there. When we invert it, there's some pieces that I want to take a bigger chunk out of here. Let's go to outline so I can make sure I'm in the right place. Here. So when you're working with like some real tight little places like this, you might want to really zoom in when using Shape Builder, where you'll end up with a lot of like little stray paths. There we go. Thicken those up. Let's use kind of a darker red. Let's turn the brightness down. Okay, so we know this will print in a single color. See how this kind of made a shadow now? That's what I was referencing earlier. I want to break this apart though. I think we need this separate. So I'm going to select these points. I'm going to Control X and Control F. And we can rebuild this flame shape a tad. Oh, I went too far. Redo pin. There we go. Control X. Back out of here. Okay. Move that back into place. Let's go back to outlines. Okay, so now if I wanted to do something like, select these parts, these can be group that, and that can be separate. So then do something different. All right, so I'm still trying to, as we're looking through this, I'm debating what we want to do as far as like colors. And I'm also looking at line widths. So see how, like, I want to make sure that all these little notches, like the bigger ones, are all about the same width. So it's a consistent style. See how big these notches are in here, like off the counter of the A? So I want to make sure that it's consistent wherever I knock out those spots on the rest of the lettering, like up here on the E. You know, maybe this can come up a little bit. Because it just, I don't know, it's those little details that just make it a little bit better, you know? Move that over, thicken these up a little bit. I don't know if I'm still a fan of this part. Let's try that. I think that's a little better. I don't know. What do you guys think? I do, Kevin. That's my word of the day. I know it's called a counter. Yeah, I can't repeat that from the chat, but I think that might be where. The R looks cleaner. Cool, thank you. Yeah, I'm still, you know, this is that part where you're kind of, you could spend you could completely go down a rabbit hole and just be, you know, slowly refining every little part. All right, so if this was, say, I don't know, I think Marcel likes neon colors. If we do. We could do like a halftone, but that might get too busy. So there's another idea where I could take this. Let me make sure this is centered up so I don't, let's go to alignment. That. Come over here. Object path, offset path. We want to preview it. We want to go -8. -10. Change it to round. Okay. Let's ungroup that. We just want this piece. I don't know how this will look. We're kind of experimenting. So let's click this and we'll go to Pathfinder and go to Trim. Then double click in here and we'll get rid of the empty shape. Select Same, Fill and Stroke. Okay, so now move this back into place. I don't know if I like that. I don't know. I can't decide. Maybe it was a little shorter. So it just got the bottom of the letters. Maybe it's too much. Maybe we just need it simpler. We need Shape Builder. Let's use Shape Builder. I don't know, I can't decide. I think it looks better without it. I kind of like the flat look, you know, where it's just simpler. But to look at, like, if we did this more of a, let me look up 80s colors. 80s colors. Oh, take a swatch of that. Come here, you. Oh dear. RGB. Oh, that's bright. This could be. I feel like that though. Or blue, maybe. Maybe an outer stroke but not an outline, all to the point so there's another layer of flame, but tweak them so they look different. Oh, so it looks like layered. You could, so a 3D effect, I mean, you could do something. Problem is, I don't know where you're gonna find a shirt that color. Can't decide. I mean, if the shirt was just, it was just a black shirt. Then this could be red. I think we want a little bit of magenta in there. I can't do red without magenta. The HSB. That actually looks kind of cool. Could do like let's lock this background so I don't move around. Let's see, we could do a fill. Let's try to get creative here. Let's try. I don't know what this will do. Object blend. I might have to do this in a different way. Blend options. Let's do 2. Huh, that made kind of a cool effect there. Object path. Let's do blend, expand. What am I looking for here? Let's unite them. Then We're gonna make a pattern real quick and see if we like it. Turn this to an outline. Then we go to object, see if I'm doing this right, pattern make, grid, where's my edge here? Actually, I don't want the bottom to come up that high. This might be easier with a clipping mask, but I think I messed up. Let me click in there. Select same, just so I can see what I'm doing. Color, make this like an orange. Okay, done. All right. Control C, Control F. Swatches. Hold tilde. Might need to be darker and not lighter. But see what I'm getting at? There might be a way to do something like this where we do a fill. That almost looks like a barbecue. I can manipulate this some more. Done. If I select it and hold tilde and then cursor it down, that might be a method. It might be a little too busy. I think it would be better if I just went in and just drew it. Which we could do. We could go in and just draw it. Because I think that's getting somewhere. You know, like I think E-Shirts Lab, you were talking about, you know, making another layer of flames in a way. Problem is, I don't know if my freehand skills are going to work right now. I do want it to be simpler. This is probably a point where I would stop and I would actually do the pencil process again. But just to see what this looks like. Birds keep running in my window. Let's change this to outlines. Color. Magenta at the bottom, then yellow. Yeah, you think the lighter fade to yellow and then would look good. Have you done a save lately? Save. Barbecue. I did a save. I'm gonna try and like make this wide enough to where I can oh wait, what am I doing? Ah. That. Not that high. Take a chunk out. This is where Shape Builder comes in really handy. Take pieces and move them around until they make sense where they're going. Control Shift J. We just need you to come this way. Let's turn those handles though. And then just like that. Control J. That should close it up. All right. All right, we're getting closer. We're just like running through this pretty quick. We just need enough to cover the bottom here. That parts is parts. I'm starting to like get double vision from looking at this, so I apologize if I'm getting quiet. So now here, if I do that, Control C, Control F, and I see a problem there. Object arrange, bring to front, okay. Do I want to keep this a clipping mask? It might be easier to modify. So, object, compound path, make, selector orange, object, clipping mask, make. I gotta fix that side of the R. Outlines. Let's try to. It's really hard to see. With these colors I picked. So now with Shape Builder, I should be able to just kind of pick and choose what I want to keep. Don't want that. Oh, wait. Did I not close it? That. Control J. Okay, now should have two shapes here. Don't want... why is it doing that? That's not what I want. Oh, because I connected the wrong path. All right, Control X. Is this one path? Should be. Control F. Select them both. Shift M. Why are you doing that to me? All right, let's just try something else. Let's go to... Let's get rid of you. There's something wrong with this path that I messed up and I can't see it. Let's see if we can just use this. Okay, that worked. Why did that work? Maybe I didn't close that other one? I don't know. Something's weird. We'll just add on to here. Take that notch out. And just keep motoring. Because here I should be able to get rid of this piece. But it's not. Why is it not? Both of these outlines. Why am I must be in a mask somewhere. Object, clipping mask, release. Yeah, I messed something up. I don't even know what I can't even tell what I messed up now. I'm in another path. All right, let's try that again. Make sure I'm not in a mask. All right, this should be its own shape here. And we're running that time of night where everything's failing. What's up, one man? I can't say the rest of it. You know, if I can't get this to work, we're checking Twitter again to see what's up. Marcel, your rage graphic is making me want to rage. This should be working. But then again, I'm doing it. So Shift M, I should be able to take it. Okay, I don't know what was going on. I don't know if I was stuck in a mask or what. Okay, now that is all one piece. I kind of want the edges to look like it's making sense where it's, you know, leaving. Like, what is this? Where did that thing come from? Okay. Move you over. That. This thing. What is this? Where did you come from? Let's move you that way. All right.
Open your eyes. Step by step, you walking through the door. Turn on the light. You're all
Okay. My eyes are burning. So Control C, Control F, object, path, compound path, make, object, arrange, bring to front, this, flip, select both, object, clipping mask, make. That looks kind of cool. My eyeballs hurt. The orange and the pink did a number on my eyeballs. All right, Guardian. Good night to you all. Yeah, no problem, guys. I know a lot of you are all. I'm trying. In different time zones around the world, and it's getting late for you. I appreciate those of you that have stuck around for so long. That I know you're on. It's the next day, and I'm sure your eyeballs are feeling worse than mine for sure. So yeah, as we just kind of fine tune this guy, just to let you know, we'll be back here next Tuesday. I haven't decided what to work on next Tuesday though. If you guys have recommendations, let me know in the chat. Usually we keep going and I forget to even ask you guys what you'd like to see next. We could do pretty much whatever. I mean, is there something you guys are trying to figure out? You know, maybe an effect you guys are working on, or you know, do you want to visit logos again, or web stuff, or you know, whatever. Let me know. Twitch names drawn. That would have to be done on a different channel. Let's see. I need to get rid of this point. There we go. That actually looks kind of cool. Yeah, dude. All right, we got pretty far. That actually turned out a lot cooler than I thought. Let me save this swatch here. Let's try flipping them real quick and see what that looks like. So if we turn that to the pink, this orange. I still feel like this is a little bit too busy down here. Maybe if we simplified it down a bit more. And this part right here is bugging me. Hold on. We don't want this coming up like this. You know, if you guys wouldn't mind, I think web stuff would be good. There's a lot of pretzel stuff I need to do, and it'd be good stuff for the stream if you guys are interested. I always enjoy working on the pretzel stuff. Let's go to outline, see where I'm at here. I'll have to clean that up later, but that looks better. UI bits, yeah, it would be. I gotta check with the guys. I don't know. We're designing something that would be. It sounds like it is UI heavy or heavier. So maybe we do visit that next Tuesday and jump back into the web stuff. You know, that might be a good idea. While I'm looking at this piece, so I'm realizing I like. Wait, what did I just select here? I think I just filled the mask. What did I just do? Oh, it was the same. Evan, you're dead. You're gone. Kind of liked it where this was at the bottom. I don't know. I like the break in the color before the logo. I don't know. I think I'm sticking with that. Yeah. So the web stuff we be doing is like so if the pretzel player, it'd be doing UI and design for more of the player here. I think Nate, where's Nate? I will know more tomorrow, but it will be web stuff. It might actually be, you know, it's not the super entertaining stuff, but it might be things that would come in handy if you're wanting to do this type of web stuff as a job, which would be more of the logged in state. And what I mean by that is when you go to a website, you know, when you're looking at a website and they're trying to sell you something or whatnot, it looks very different from when you're logged out and making the decision to purchase something, or, you know, create an account or sign up for something. And then when you get past that and get into a logged in state, a site can look very different, right? So one of the things that I have on my plate to do is to design what that logged in state looks like. Which, you know, that's where all your, it's like when you log into like Twitter or Facebook, you know, you have quicker access to all your settings, preferences, you know, information about yourself, the different parts you need to set up, or maybe you see different content because you are now logged in. You're now able to do different things that you can't do when you're logged out. So there's a lot of there's a few pages I need to design where it's that part where you're logged in and you have to you know, you got to do all the stuff. So that's something we could work on. I think there's another thing we could work on. I have to run it by the guys, but there is another, it sounds like more app interface stuff that we could design and do there. So yeah, there's a couple things there. There is, I have some more gaming emblems in the back of my head I wanted to do. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. Scott, nope, I haven't seen who we're raiding yet. We still got a few more minutes before that, before that goes. But, sorry, I was catching up on Twitch. But we will. The raid is the best part of it. That's one of the reasons why I like closing out the stream here on the Adobe channel on Tuesdays, is because I get to do the raid part. Make something with a cabbage. First thing that comes to mind is a big old bowl of coleslaw. Cabbage, huh? Yep. Or mushu pork or mushu chicken. I like doing gaming emblems. That's a lot of fun. Last time we did Medal of Honor inspired stuff. You know, is there another game that, you know, I've done all the prestige emblem things. I like toying around with the Destiny inspired emblems because they've got the best UI as far as I'm concerned with the game. Is the Destiny stuff. We could do, what could be another, like what's another game? A Blue Crow. Yeah, E-shirts, you want to watch me burn down my office with the cooking video? Yeah, I won't be here next week. I have no house. I got these little patches that I thought were pretty cool. We could visit that again, like the NASA patches or whatnot. But I thought, let me pull up so I can make sure you guys are seeing it. I forget where I got these from, but these are cool little patches. This is bear with a horseshoe in it. You know, they're just little shield patches, and then the other one was like a wolf shape. Love all these little things. I forget where I got this from, but these little patches, they remind me of the Medal of Honor stuff slightly. You know, they kind of have that military vibe, but you know, they're just cool. If I remember where I got them from, I'll post a link up on Twitter where it was. So I still also need to do this one. I wanted to do this version of the Rage text and see where what happens there. But as far as the stream tonight, is there anything else you guys wanted to see, like with the whole text thing? You know, just to go over it again, we started from a computer printout, and then with a light box we penciled over the top of it. So we did, like, you know, started with this, which we were looking at working off that file, right, where we manipulated just basic text. printout, you do the first pass, right? So my camera's not picking it up. The first pass of this, and then on top of that, we did, well, that's more of a one-off. But on top of that, then we get to, you know, the final pass, which then scanned and then became what you saw tonight. And this type of artwork, it's all vectors, so I can scale this thing up or down. You know, this thing could be huge and still retain all of its shapes and lines. And I got a stray point. I see it right there. Control Y. I see it. Anchor. Delete you. We don't need you. So yeah, I mean, this thing could get huge. It could get tiny. And it's gonna retain its lines and crisp shape. So when someone were to screen print this, you know, they only have to worry about, depending on the shirt color, the white ink, magenta ink, and the orange ink. So it'd be a 3-color process on a shirt, which you'd have to do a base though. So a base would be this whole thing in white, and then you print the color on top of it, which is pretty cool. You commented on some of my work on Instagram a few weeks back, blew my mind. I did? Awesome. Yeah, vectors equal math. It's like, think of it as like points, you know, it's coordinates, and each coordinate has a path going to it. So when we drew out the pen tool and drew out the pass, or drew out, you know, we put a point on an XY coordinate and then put another point, and that made the path to that point, whether or not it had a curve or it was straight. You know, the points dictate, they essentially kind of hold that information. You know, this point says, okay, curve at this degree for this long or whatever, and the next point says, okay, you know, curve, you know, this degree at this point, and then, you know, that just keeps going and going and going, and then so it's just math. It's not pixel based. If it's pixel based, then you get like crazy distortion and whatnot. Destiny Cabbage app with logo and all. All right. Cabbage Cabbage Patch Kids scare me. They're like, what is it? Furbies. They're kind of weird. But we got through this a little bit quicker than I thought, so I finally get time to sit here and thank you guys for stopping by. Usually it's like I'm looking at the clock going, oh my gosh, I got no time to say anything. But yes, thank you all for stopping by and checking us out, and doing the old swamp meet. What am I saying? and watching the stream. My brain is mush. Swamp meet. I'm looking at a message and trying to talk at the same time, and it's not working. Swami has given me the old raid URL. So let me copy this. Ooh, who is this? This will be fun. I love doing this part. So at the end of every stream, on at least when we end at 7 o'clock, Swami, what happened? I must have ate something weird today. It's totally messing my brain up. The Adobe stream goes from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then after we turn off at 7 p.m. we like to go raid another channel, and what that means is we all take off from the Adobe channel and we go over to this new channel and we surprise them, and they love it, and they usually go crazy like, what happened, where are all these people coming from? And so we're gonna go raid, who is it, Cassie Draws tonight. So we're gonna go check her channel out, and again, thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate it. I know it was a little convoluted and I'd like to ramble, and my brain just is not in gear today, even though I've desperately been trying. We're gonna go raid Cassie's channel, and come catch me next Tuesday, Tuesday night, same time, same channel, same place. I'll be here, and we'll be working on probably web stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna drop the link in the chat and copy the code that Swan Meat just pasted, and we will go raid her channel. So without further ado, where's my thing? All right, next Tuesday, I will catch you then. You have a good one. Take it easy. Later.